before cities, before history, before memory itself, there was a garden. And in that garden, a choice was made. Not just a choice that changed two lives, but one that shaped every human decision forever. What if everything you've been taught about human history is only part of the story? What if the real story is the one that never stopped repeating? According to the Bible, it began with a man. His name was Adam, formed from dust and given life through breath. Not born, but created. And then there was Eve, not made from the earth, but from Adam himself. Together, they lived in a place untouched by death, a place without fear, without suffering, the Garden of Eden. Everything they needed was already there. But there was one rule. Just one. A single tree they were told not to touch. Not because it would harm them instantly, but because it would change them forever. And then came the voice, not loud, not forceful, just a whisper, planting doubt. Did God really say you can't eat from it? The serpent didn't force them. It didn't need to, because humans don't need to be forced, only convinced. And in that moment, Eve reached. Adam followed, and everything changed. Not the world, but them. Because the moment they gained knowledge, they also gained fear, shame, awareness. And for the first time, they realized they were vulnerable. And just like that, they were no longer part of paradise. They were sent out into a world that suddenly felt very different. But here's the part most people miss. The story of humanity didn't begin in the garden. It began the moment they left it. Outside the garden, survival replaced perfection. Adam and Eve had children, and for the first time, human nature began to unfold. Two brothers, Cain and Abel. One offered what he had, the other wanted more, and in a moment of jealousy, history recorded its first act of violence. Brother against brother. Cain didn't just kill Abel. He introduced something new to humanity, the ability to destroy each other. And from that moment forward, violence didn't disappear. It multiplied. Generations passed, people spread. But something else spread with them. Corruption, greed, power. Humans weren't just surviving anymore, they were competing. And the more they grew, the darker things became, until the world reached a point where, according to the book of Genesis, every intention of the human heart was only evil all the time. Think about that. Not sometimes, not occasionally, constantly. And that's when everything was about to be reset. There was one man, Noah. Not perfect, but different. And he was given a warning: build an ark. Not a boat for travel, but a vessel for survival. Because something was coming that would erase everything. And then it started. Rain, not for hours, not for days, but for weeks. The ground disappeared. Cities vanished. People gone. The world didn't end. It was wiped clean, except for what was inside that ark. A single family and the chance to start again. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Even after everything was reset, humans didn't change. Because the problem was never the world. It was us. After the flood, humanity began again. Slowly, then rapidly. Communities formed. Languages developed. And eventually, people came together to build something massive, the Tower of Babel. It wasn't just a structure, it was a statement. Humanity trying to reach the heavens. Not physically, but symbolically, to prove they didn't need limits. And once again, pride took over. The same pattern, repeating. So, language was divided. People scattered, and civilizations began to rise separately. But even separated, human nature stayed the same. Across the world, power structures formed. In ancient Egypt, kings became gods. In Mesopotamia, laws controlled behavior. Empires rose, empires fell. But the core never changed. People sought power. Others followed. Religion gray, not just as belief, but a structure, a way to explain the unknown, a way to guide behavior, and sometimes a way to control. Because humans don't just want answers, they want certainty. Even if it's an illusion. Then came a figure that would divide history itself. Jesus Christ. Not a king, not a warrior, but a teacher. Preaching something radically different. Not power, not dominion, but forgiveness, love, sacrifice. And for a moment, it seemed like humanity might change direction, but instead, it created division. Belief systems spread. Conflicts followed, and once again, the same cycle continued. Time moved forward. Faster and faster, the Industrial Revolution changed everything. Machines replaced labor, cities expanded. Technology grew, and for the first time, humans began to feel like they were in control, but were because while tools evolved, human nature didn't. Wars still happened. Greed still existed. The scale just became bigger. Now, here we are. Connected through the internet, billions of people, all thinking, reacting, competing at the same time. We have more knowledge than ever before, but also more confusion, more connection, but more isolation. And if you look closely, the same patterns from the beginning are still here. Temptation, choice, consequence. Just like in the garden. Because maybe the story of Adam and Eve was never just about two people. Maybe it was about all of us. A repeating cycle, playing out again and again and again. From a garden to a global network, humanity didn't escape its nature. It only expanded it. And the question is, if we were given the same choice today, would we do anything differently? Or would we choose the same thing all over again? And if that's true, then maybe the story isn't over yet.